Let's talk about teams that might have outkicked their coverage. I think, Alan Cavanna, this might be a harder list to compile than the ones that have failed to achieve what we thought they would do.
Yeah, I mean, going down the points, you're looking for someone who surprises you. I don't see anyone, say, even in the top 12, top 15 in points that really surprises me in terms of where I didn't think they'd be there. No, right now, all the people in the top 15 are probably should be there, or we'd be talking about them in a much different conversation. So I'm going to shout out the two rookies in the field, Josh Berry and Carson Hocevar, for where they're running, kind of for different reasons. Josh Berry and everything that happened at Stewart-Haas Racing, that's a team that could have, should have probably imploded. Maybe they're in the process of kind of doing that as we get closer and closer. But sitting there, 22nd in points, having the runs that they've had, showing the speed that they've had, despite all the adversity they're going through, a lot of props to them. And Carson Hocevar as well. Given the team that they're on, Spire, we know they're trying they're going in the right direction. They're still not in terms of top 10 speed, top 15 speed, but Carson Hocevar has shown me more than maybe I expected out of him as a rookie, especially when you look at the names that are behind him in points, the Stenhouses of the world, Eric Jones, Harrison Burton, Zane Smith, the fellow rookie. I shout out that Josh Berry and Carson Hocevars of the world for kind of overachieving what I expected out of them.
I think that's very well said, and I think it's also a good assessment of where they find themselves. I'm a little bit surprised that Stewart-Haas, allowed this to occur like they have as far as potential. I think Josh Berry does have. I think the fact that's been recognized, he's got a place to go at the end of the year. But the main thing is Carson Hocevar. I think for a kid who just basically jumped straight out of trucks and moved up the Cup, he has shown a lot of talent, a lot of poise, and I think we can expect great things out of him as we move forward, especially with all the restructuring and what direction Spire seems they're headed in. They're serious contenders, and we make sure we give them a tip of the hat for that. They're going to be a bright future in our sport. I mean, they're not standing still. They're making changes.
I'm going to give one of the old guys a little bit of love here in Brad Keselowski. He's 9th in points. He got the win that we all said, man, I would love to see Brad get back to victory lane one more time. He wanted a really tough place in Darlington. He's going to be in the playoffs. Is he going to make a deep run? Probably not. But think back, and Jeff, you were a part of the good and the bad at Roush. What he bought into and took over was a train wreck. And in time has built that team up to a level of respectability. Busher got 3 wins last year, none this year. He got a W this year. I think cumulatively what he has been able to do there is pretty doggone impressive considering where he started.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I'll use the terminology that I described one time to a guy who asked me that same question. How would you rank, RFK right now? You ever heard of the resurrection of the Titanic? I mean, this son of a gun was taking on water big time, and somehow or another he got it. The leaks stopped, and slowly but surely he's righted this ship and made it respectable once again. And every week you look up, and again, is he leading a ton of laps? No, but he's inside the top 10. He's a guy late in the race. All of a sudden, here's Brad Keselowski, and Chris Buescher has also had some memorable runs this season. He just needs a little bit, and he could easily find his way to victory lane. And I think it's a good choice. I think it's the right choice. Brad Keselowski is serious about being a big-time NASCAR Cup owner, and he's doing a great job.
I mean, you look at the points, Brad Keselowski in 9th right there. I mean, he's above the worst Hendrick car. He's above the worst Gibbs car. Kind of punching above his weight when you probably look at in terms of the speed. He's got the victory. If anything, the schedule hurts him this year, Doug, because that Darlington race is the last regular season race.
Right.
And so you would think if it was the first playoff race, maybe Brad goes back-to-back at Darlington, advances himself. How deep of a playoff run can they make? I don't know. We have to see what they have in terms of speed. But look, being a veteran, being the age he is at the top of his game, it's going to come down to the speed and performance at those racetracks, of course. And that's where the Hendricks and the Gibbs of the world will really separate themselves. But they have been progressively getting a little better and a little better, and Brad Keselowski with the win already, that's only going to help him going forward.
Who are we not talking about? I mean, it's easy to focus your eyes on Kyle Larson and say, wow, that's the shiny, bright object that has won 4 races and could go on and do that. And a lot of people are enamored with Tyler Reddick. Is there somebody we're missing that is going to win this whole thing, and we're going to go, wow, I didn't think about that.
Christopher Bell.
Bell.
Christopher Bell has been the championship favorite ever since we went to that first Phoenix race. Christopher Bell and Adam Stevens went to Phoenix, the site of the championship race, and won, I think it was by about 6 seconds. Think about that in the next gen era. They put 6 seconds on the field at the track where you win the championship. They told the entire field, go find me 6 seconds in the next 8 months. I dare you to do it. If Christopher Bell and the 20 car get to Phoenix, they are 100% the absolute favorite to win the championship, and I think they've been it ever since we went there earlier in the year.
Did you hear what he said, though?
I sure did. It's almost a mortal lock.
Yeah, but the thing is, the last thing he said, if they make it to Phoenix. That's what happened, last year? He did not make it to Phoenix.
He did, but they had a problem.
But they broke, they broke early in that race.
But at the same time, all the things you're talking about, he's got to be able to, and right now they're in a slump. And this is something you don't need to be doing. You need to be coming in, not running on the top, but you definitely need to be on the upswing. And they've been going backwards once again. I mean, they've struggled here lately. And I love his crew chief to death. If anybody can make it happen, Adam Stevens can.
Well, I like Adam Stevens. I think he's a great crew chief. I like C. Bell. I think he was the guy last year that said, well, you didn't interview me because you didn't think I was going to be in the playoffs.
And he's made it 2 years in a row to the Final Four.
So I'm not opposed to that pick. For a long time this year, I was kind of on the Denny Hamlin plan, but they've just fallen apart lately.
A little bit.
No, not a little bit, a bunch.
How bad?
But here you go, guys.
Real bad.
Look. You need to understand we've experienced something that we don't normally experience in NASCAR in years. A 2-week break.
Yep.
Well,
2-week break.
Well,
this is going to be the tell right now. When you come back here after we get through racing Richmond, what do we get out of that race? It's going to tell us maybe what we might see for the remainder of the season.
Like I was on Team Denny for a while. I thought this is a guy that's won all these races. This is finally the year. The last 7 races, he has averaged a 23rd place finish.
All right, you got me there. That's
23rd.
That's surprising.
Only to be exceeded by Kyle Busch's 25th place finish average in the last 7 races.
But I look, it's his year. I mean, right? We get to the playoffs. I think everything will be fine. You're not on Team Denny anymore. I mean, rough stretch.
I could sell my Team Denny jersey here pretty soon. Let me see what he does. Now he may come out and blow the field away at Richmond. He's really good at these short tracks.
Well, I was going to say you're picking a place where do you really want to put all your money on the fact? Oh, Denny's back because you're going to Richmond and he's supposed to win there.